The most common question I get asked as a rowing coach is, can I row every day? And should I row every day if my goal is to lose body fat? This is a bit of a loaded question, but to answer it with as much accuracy as possible, we need to first understand how rowing leads to fat loss. Rowing is one of the highest calorie burning exercises out there because it works most of your body, and a bonus is that it does it in a pretty low impact way. But no matter how high of a calorie burning exercise rowing is, we're only going to lose body fat if our body is in a caloric deficit. That means our body is burning more calories than the calories we actually take in through our food and drink. While rowing does burn a ton of calories, for a 20-minute rowing session, that's probably going to burn about 150 to 300 calories for most people. But if you're cooking food at home and you slather a bunch of olive oil in the pan before you start cooking, well, that's another 150 to 300 calories right there. And the question becomes, which is easier, to row hard for 20 minutes or to not use the olive oil when you cook? The point here is that when it comes to losing body fat, while rowing can help us with our calorie deficit, it is much easier to achieve a calorie deficit when we control the food aspect and not try to out-row a bad diet. So to just be straight up with you, if you're eating like crap, it doesn't matter how much you row, you're not going to lose body fat. No matter how good your form is, no matter how many hours you put in, if you're eating more calories than you're burning in a day, you're not going to lose body fat. Simple as that. So before even worrying about rowing every day to lose body fat, get your nutrition in check. But if you're confused on how to control your nutrition, you should join my Just Row community. Not only does it have hundreds of follow-along workouts with me, but I also have a Nutrition for Rowing fat loss course, giving you every tool you need to achieve your fat loss journey in conjunction with rowing. Now, with that understanding aside, can you actually row every day and keep yourself injury-free? Yes, you can. In fact, you could row every single day without taking a rest day if you really wanted to. And that's because our ability to stay injury-free all comes down to what we call load management, which is how intense our workouts are and how intense our recovery is, and being able to recover from workout to workout in order for our body to stay safe and healthy. Typically, if you get injured or burnt out from rowing, basically we're doing too much work with not enough rest, which is why if you want to row most days a week, it's important to have a combination of low intensity rows and a few high intensity rows. A low intensity row would be something like 15 to 45 minutes steady state, rowing between 20 and 24 strokes per minute, while putting in just enough effort to maintain a level of conversation if you were rowing and talking to somebody right next to you. This helps you build up your aerobic capacity, burns a moderate amount of calories, and allows you to put in a lot of workload without taxing your body and your nervous system. And you could do rows like that pretty much every day without really hurting yourself, as long as you're getting enough sleep, recovery, and managing your work stress and life stress outside of the rowing machine. Now, the same can't be said for high intensity rows. We're talking more about our sprint style rows, such as 1 minute on, 1 minute off, where we get the stroke rate to 26 up to 30 plus strokes per minute, with intervals where we're really trying to see how hard we can make it with periods of rest breaks in between. Minute on, minute off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Tabata, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, sets of 500-meter sprints, etc. All of these rows not only take a lot more physical effort, but can be a lot more taxing on our body through more intense muscle contractions, more demand from our metabolic systems, and is more taxing on our nervous system because you have to hype yourself up and be able to mentally manage really intense intervals. It doesn't matter how fit you are, if you are really pushing your interval training hard, you can't sustain that for multiple days in a row, 7 days a week for weeks on end. You're gonna hurt yourself or you're gonna get burnt out and stop improving. That's why I would recommend for those using rowing for fat loss and to improve their health to include 1, 2, or 3 maximum high intensity sessions per week. As a rowing coach, I believe it is important to have these in there regardless of your age, regardless of your fitness level. As long as you have good technique, you should be able to do these safely. But it's these high intensity sprints that really help to build up our athleticism, challenge our metabolic system in ways that we don't really do in our later adult years. These are the type of rows that keep us young. So depending on how much you want to row, either 1, 2, or 3 high intensity sessions spread out throughout the week with some low intensity rows sprinkled in between. This gives you a ton of variety in combinations of high intensity and low intensity to allow yourself to row 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5, 6, or even 7. If you're doing 5, 4, or 3 days a week, you have those rest days in between, your body's gonna recover. But when we're pushing for more days, 5, 6, and 7 days, you're gonna really have to dial in your recovery stretches, making sure your sleep is in check, and making sure you're not getting too stressed out in the rest of your life. So with all that in mind, this is probably not the concrete answer you were looking for. But what's great about that is that it can really adapt to everyone's lifestyle. You can get fit and in shape and kick some butt on the rower and get super fit and healthy with 3 days a week, with 4 days a week, or 5, 6, or 7. But especially when it comes to losing fat, we gotta get that nutrition in check because you can't out-row a bad diet. If you want workout programs that are follow-along workouts with me that give you the perfect combination of low-intensity and high-intensity workouts with tons of variety, as well as the Nutrition for Rowing Fat Loss course, check out Just Row. It's linked down below. It's the best place to be and the most affordable rowing resource out there for you in your rowing journey. I would love to hear what your week-to-week rowing schedule looks like. You don't know who you could inspire or plant ideas into by just sharing your own experience and how rowing has helped you and your fitness journey. So let me know down below. I'd be very curious to hear your story. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe for more rowing content, and I'll see you in the next video.